Hello and welcome to the Cisco CyberOps Associate Lab video series. I'm going to be walking through each of the major labs of the Cisco CyberOps Associate NetAcad curriculum. So let's go and let's jump on in. Lab 427, getting familiar with the Linux shell. So we're going to be using the Cisco curriculum for this lab, so let's jump right on in. Alright, so lab, again, 427, familiar with the Linux shell. We have two main components for this lab, shell basics. Then we're going to deal with file manipulation, copying, deleting, and moving. We're going to be using the CyberOps workstation for this lab. And again, there's two main parts. So let's jump in our VM and let's see what we can accomplish. Alright, so I have my VM already loaded, get logged in. The username should be CyberOps. CyberOps, if I can spell, CyberOps, there we go. Alright, the first part is shell basics. So get logged into the VM and then open up our command terminal. We can do that through the terminal down here. We can do that through the terminal up here. It really does not matter which method you use. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. That way you can see what I'm typing. So first thing to realize is a lot of the work done through the command terminal has what's called a manual page or a man page. So we're going to man the man page. So we're going to go ahead and this is the call for the manual and this is the call for what we're trying to look up. So here we have the manual page utility. It gives us our options, it gives us appropriate flags, it tells us details, gives us all examples, it gives us details on how to use some of the examples. So I'm going to hit Q to quit. I'm going to man CP. CP is the copy command, and again we're going to see the options and we're going to see the flags and we're going to see kind of the things that we can do. So that allows us to at least get a basic understanding of how to use some of the commands. So before I get out of this, what's the function of the CP command? It's copy. So we can take from one location and copy it to a different location. What command would you use to find out more information about the pwd command? So let's find that out. So man pwd. Man space any command will give you the manual for that specific page. So sometimes that's just looking into the details of how to use it. So man space pwd gives us the manual for pwd. The function of pwd is essentially to print the name of the current or working directory. So moving on, we have step 3 in part 1, creating and changing directories. So let's go ahead back out of the man page. So I'm going to do a pwd. I'm currently located at my home/analyst directory. So if I want to go ahead and change it, I can do that. If I do cd space the directory home. Nope, I did a wrong slash there. Control C. There we go. And do a pwd. I'm in a different directory now. The cd changes the directory. So cd/home/analyst. We're back to our home directory. So now we want to go ahead and we want to do an ls -l that will list our items out. It shows our desktop, it shows our files. We can also do that graphically. Here is it graphically. I'm going to put this on one side of the screen. I'll put this on the other. Step 3, part D, has us make some folders. So we're going to do it in mkdir CyberOps underscore folder 1. And you'll see as I make them, it automatically makes them in the graphical interface. If we do our ls again, ls tac l, we can see the folders. We can also see them graphically. Can we navigate to them? Sure, we can navigate to them. So cd CyberOps folder 1. Or I could do cc or cd ... I go back to my parent directory. I can do cd to folder 2, and so I can navigate to and from. Again, cc or cd ... The cd ... basically says go up one folder. So note that in the prompt, the till represents the current user home directory. So as we are changing it, we are seeing different things. Also, when we navigated to our different folders, we still see the $sign. This is the directory we're in. So when we navigated to a subdirectory, CyberOps folder 2, that's what was displayed. The $sign indicates a regular user privilege. If there's a pound, that means we have elevated it to root. So let's go ahead, sudo cd CyberOps 1. CyberOps. Some of the commands you're not going to be able to sudo. I'm not going to explain why we got the command not found. We know that it's there, but that's going to be a later lab. I did want to show that we could sudo, and if we sudo, our prompt changes from a regular permission $sign to a pound, but again, that's way outside the lab. Type the command cd tilde and describe what happens. Well, I'm going to go back and I'm going to cd to a folder. So cd tilde takes me back to my current user's home directory. That's what happens. Alright, so let's talk about making folders even if we're not in that current folder. If we do a mkdir and we give it a path, home / analyst / CyberOps 3, we can now make a folder underneath there. So CyberOps underscore folder 4. And that meant from my home directory I was able to make an additional folder. And if I go to my CyberOps 3 folder, it's there. If you realize that it's the wrong one, or you put it in the wrong location, that's a whole different nightmare. Alright, so let's look at our L commands. So let's ls tac l in the home directory, analyst in the CyberOps 3 folder. We can see that we have our CyberOps folder 4, and that's really it. But are there other details there? We already know from a previous lab we can use a ltac a, and we can see additional things as well. So yes, we know that there are things missing. What about if we want to navigate? Can we do that? So cd home analyst CyberOps 3. Sure, we can do that. If we do a cd dot, you'll notice one dot doesn't do a lot. One dot keeps us in the same directory. Cd dot dot, however, allows us to go up one folder. Alright, so we're going to work on step 4 in part 1, and that is redirecting outputs. So let's navigate to our home directory. We're already there. We're going to do an echo command. This is a message echoed by the terminal by echo. Alright, so echo. This is a message echoed to the terminal by echo. So this message was printed. That was the purpose of echo. We can actually, with that arrow, using the greater than symbol, we can put it in a text file. So some text file.txt. And if we open it, it's there. So we can use this to dump text to another folder or another file. The output wasn't displayed because the greater than symbol went ahead and piped it or ingested it into a new text document. If we do a ls tac l on some text file, we see that it's there and we see when it was created. If we cat it, we can see what it says. And if we echo additional, so let's go ahead, this message, this is a different message, and we're going to go ahead and echo that to the same some text file. So what happened? Well, let's cat it again. It updated and replaced the current message. It did not append the message, it replaced it. And if we open the file, it replaced it. Alright, so how do we fix this? Clearly, overwriting it doesn't work well. So what can we do to fix this? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go up, and instead of, this was the original line, this is a different message, I'm going to write this, echo, this is a third change, but I'm going to do two greater thans, some text file. If I cat the file, I now see my appended changes. 1 caret replaces. 2 caret appends or adds to the text of that file. And it may seem like a weird nuance, but those are kind of important as we are working with files. Sometimes we want to replace, sometimes we want to add to it. Alright, so moving past that, we have the redirect and append. That's what we just did. So step 6, working with hidden files. So I'm going to go ahead and do a clear. So clear will clear the screen. Let's do an ls tac l. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 files that appear. We know if we do an ls tac la, we have all the hidden folders and, the hidden directories and hidden files. Is it possible to hide an entire directory by adding a dot in front of it? Basically, this is going to vary, but it's going to list everything that is there. When you do the ls tag LA, you're going to get a ton of files. When we go to manipulate anything, there are many hidden directories. We've already seen that. Given 3 examples of hidden files shown to the outputs, literally anything with the period in front of it are hidden directories. So, alright, part 2, copying, deleting, and moving files. That is going to be the next major part of this lab, because we've now completed part 1 and all of its many steps. So part 2, step 1, we're going to copy the text file to a folder. So I'm going to clear my screen. I'm going to do a CP, the source of what I'm wanting to copy, and then next will be the destination. So CyberOps folder 2. So what I did was I copied this text file to CyberOps folder 2, or CyOps folder 2. I didn't move it. I copied it. So we do need to keep that in mind. We can do ls tag L to see that it's there. We can go ahead and navigate to CyOps folder 2, do an ls, and see that it's there. It's in both locations. We know that. We copied it. We did not move it. So that was the big thing, is understanding moving it versus copying it. Alright, so now we're going to work on deleting files and directories. That's step 2. Using the rm command, Romeo Mike command, we're going to remove the subtext file from the home directory. We have a direct copy in CyOps folder 2, so we want to delete the one in the home directory. So rm subtext file. When I hit enter, you'll notice it immediately deleted from the graphical as well. And if we do an ls tag L, we notice that it's now missing. If we do a directory, for example, we can do that. However, if the directory has data, it does not like deleting a folder that has data in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called a recursive deletion. So in Linux, directories are seen as a type of file. As such, the rm command is also used to delete the directories, but the tag R, the recursive option, must be used. Notice that all files and other directories inside a given directory are also deleted when we do the tag R. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a rm message. With that, we are going to go ahead and load the tag R command, and we're going to do that based off the CyberOps folder 1. That will delete everything inside folder 1, and it will also delete folder 1. Alright, so that kind of got us the experience manipulating folders, and you noticed it disappeared from our graphical interface almost immediately. Step 3 is about moving our files. We do that with an MV, or Mike Victor. So Mike Victor, CyOps folder 2, some text. That's our source file. I gave it the path and the file. And I want to copy it to my home directory, or one directory above this. I can give it the full path. I can give it a period. It's kind of up to you which option you want to do. Hit enter, and immediately some text file comes. We did the MV, the move, so CyOps folder 2 no longer has it. And we can check that with an ls tag L. It's in our home directory. We can also do that with an ls tag L home analyst CyberOps folder 2, and there's nothing there. So we have some ability to play with that. Let's go ahead and remove CyOps folder 2. So rm tac r CyOps folder 2. Let's remove folder 3 as well. Alright, reflection question. What are the advantages of using the terminal? Well, some people are faster with the terminal. Some people prefer the terminal over a graphical interface, so it really just depends on you. Some of the commands are a little easier. Some people a little faster with the keyboard. You can script a lot of this. I've actually had several clients that will do folder directory build out, and manually doing this to the graphic is a little slow, so it just kind of depends. Alright, and that completes this lab. Again, this was lab 427, getting familiar with the Linux shell. Questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out. Thank you. Alright, so that does it for this lab video. A few suggestions would be: 1, run through the lab a second time, trying to do it by yourself. 2, I would do a summary of kind of what you learned, where you struggled, and keep that type of journal going so that you can build off of it. 3rd, and finally, take time to reflect. These labs start off fairly easy and then they grow in complexity, so some of the labs you may have to redo a few times to fully grasp what's going on. If you have any questions or any concerns, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.